When I first started racing, and specifically two-stroke karts around 5 years ago, I always had a problem with fitness. I was always struggling to have consistent laps and would often lose a lot of places at the end of a race just due to exhaustion and fatigue. After years of training on the right program, I don't really get tired after sessions anymore. Before I explain my process, make sure to subscribe more content like this. Since the races are often pretty long and tiring, karting involves more muscular endurance over everything. So what I mean by muscular endurance is the rep range you should be focusing on should be around 20 reps for each of your exercises, which has been proven to be like the perfect number for muscular endurance, for training for muscular endurance. Driving the kart itself over one lap is not exactly a strenuous task, but over 10, 20, 30 laps be pretty difficult. You don't exactly have to be a muscular bodybuilder to do well. In fact, the ideal physique for karting or racing in general is actually pretty slim but a muscular build. This is why all F1 drivers are pretty light and actually not as muscular as people would think. Most national racers as well in the karting scene are pretty slim and not really tall, which seems to help. Also, people who run cross country or track, do rowing or like any other cardio heavy sports tend to do pretty well in karting, as they already have like pretty good endurance. Basically, I'm going to tell you these simple exercises you can put in your workouts, and you'll definitely see progress in your races. A core is probably the most important muscle group for karting. During the race, you're constantly having to hold yourself in the seat, flexing your core like whenever you turn corners. So basically core, there are a lot of exercises you can do for core, such as planks, leg lifts, various crunches. But a lot of these exercises that I'm going to say later on, they involve core. So they will also help engage your core. Next is the neck. Having a strong neck is really important for karting for sure. If you think about any karting, drivers face extremely high G-forces, especially in like shifter karts, which can get up to like 5 Gs, and that can really put a toll on your neck throughout a long race. Well, there's not many exercises for the neck, and personally I don't have specific exercises for it. Lots of shoulder exercises will get the job done just fine. This includes shoulder press, lateral raises, and shoulder shrugs. These three exercises are pretty easy. I have them in my program. They'll really strengthen your shoulder and neck muscles. Forearms are also very important for gripping the steering wheel. Having good forearms and wrist strengths to push the wheel when it turns significantly reduces soreness during and after races. You also know if you come back from races and you have like calluses, this shows that it requires a lot of grip strength driving the kart. For forearms and specifically biceps, I have them just do curls, which are super easy and effective. Along with that, wrist curls are also great for forearm strength and grip strength in general. I even have these wrist strengthener things. I forgot what they're called, but I'll show a picture of them. I was using these to recover from a broken wrist, which seemed to help my forearms a lot, like gaining strength back. Another more fun exercise you can incorporate into your practice sessions is driving one-handed. I actually learned this from when I was racing with RPG, because it'll teach you to push rather than to pull on the wheel as you drive, and just improve your strength overall. For cardio, obviously cardio builds endurance. Like I said, professional runners who do karting, they tend to be at an advantage because their endurance is already like much higher than the average person racing. Go for some intense running sessions. Also conditioning in hot weather, like with lots of layers, helps simulate like karting conditions like in a hot racetrack, and it'll get you used to pushing yourself for long periods of time. So once you get back in a go-kart, it feels like nothing. Long story short, karting and racing as a whole is very physical. This video gave you certain muscle groups to focus on and train, and certain exercises to put into your program to give you an advantage over your competition. A side note as well, of course nutrition is very important. I'm not going to focus on it too much on this video. Let me know if you want a separate video for that, because really that's a whole other story. Comment below which training program has worked for you. Stay tuned for more content.